I remember just my mom being highly upset with the fact that I was always with the girls and not with the boys. Every time she'd pick me up, I would be sitting in a circle playing patty cake or something like that instead of playing catch with the boys. And she was just like, go play catch. That's a lot of work. I gotta run. I got a lot of hair on my head. I don't like to sweat, Lydia. My exact words. She didn't like it. And my dad at the time, he wasn't around because he was doing time. In them 2 years, I got heavily influenced by the femininity of my mom and my aunts and my sisters and my grandma. And then he was highly upset when he got back that I was so flamboyant. When I got to first grade is where I noticed I had a strong attraction to not females. One day, my mom and dad started arguing over my cousin being a homosexual, and I'm 6, and I was like, what is that? And they kind of explained to me, basically, it's like when you like boys and you're supposed to like girls. And in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, I'm not right in the head. When I got to 6th grade, I got bullied for it, but I didn't tell nobody. Until I think the 7th grade, I came out as bisexual. Then in the 8th grade, I came out as gay because I'm like, I'm gonna stop lying. I don't like girls. They don't do nothing for me. And then I got to high school, and high school was such a broad awakening to the LGBT because there was a lot of everything. A lot of people were saying to me, do you want to get the surgery to be a girl? And I was like, surgery to be a girl? Back in my head, I was like, I would like to do that, but I'm not going to say that to nobody. I was really feminine, obviously. I'd be around girls all the time. I'd talk about makeup. I'd know more about the female body. And they'd be like, I didn't even know that. And I was like, well, you need to learn. And then, sophomore year, I came out as transgender to my friends. Mom wasn't too happy because the first 2 times I came out, she would start getting upset, hyperventilating. I wasn't able to talk about it a lot at all with family. I just suppressed it. In high school, I got exposed to drag pride because I didn't know what pride was. Everybody was explaining, it's a gay pride parade. And I was like, I want to go. To this day, I still haven't gone. I started doing makeup, hair, and I was sort of androgynous at one point during high school. I don't know how it got back to my parents. This one day, I decided to tell them that I was considering doing gender reassignment surgery. They were like, what is that? And I was like, basically, I want to be a girl. And then my mom started crying. My dad was like, I can handle everything else, but you don't want your situation. I didn't say that. I said I want to be a girl. My parents were very reluctant to help me in that aspect. They wouldn't buy me female clothes. They wouldn't buy me anything feminine. So I'd have to find a loophole and find like guy things that looked feminine on me. I do remember this one moment when I was 17. My sister bought a dress and it didn't fit her. She was like, try this one. And I was like, I'm gonna get in trouble. And she was like, you're at my house. Your parents are all the way in New Brunswick. They ain't gonna know. So I tried it on and I saw the way it fit and the way it felt. It was just, it felt right. It felt like I was meant to be in a dress. I actually started crying. She was like, what's wrong? Do you hate it? And I was like, no. It just feels so right to be in a dress. You don't understand. I can't do this at home. So, Every time I would go to my sister's house, they would have preset outfits for me to wear. I would never bring clothes to sleep in or anything to wear the next day because they'd have it for me. And then the first time I wore like female underwear, I was like, I feel free. I feel feminine. Until my mom walked in on me and she was like, why is you wearing them? I was like, they mine. You ain't buying them. Buy. Clothing, it depends on who you are, but for me, it was a big part of my transition. It was a way for me to express who I was without having to say anything. Just look at me and you'll know what's going on. After junior year, I was buying my own clothes. My parents were more accepting because as long as they didn't buy this stuff for me, they were okay with it. And then I was dressing like that at school. I do give thanks to my theater teacher for being my support. My sisters, they couldn't believe their eyes that I was actually in my house, in my parents' house, dressed as a female. They were like, did they see you yet? And I'm like, yeah, they saw me get dressed. They saw me do my makeup and everything. My legal transition process started about 2 weeks ago. So I had to fill out the forms and get them submitted. I'm waiting for my court date, and then usually there's a couple extra fees like getting new birth certificates, new ID, new social security. So I'm waiting. People ask if I plan to get the surgery or get this or get that. And I'm like, as long as I'm happy with how I look, I don't care. I'm going to Middlesex for psychology. Then I want to transfer to Rutgers for their gender studies program. I want to work with transgender youth, mostly teenagers, because it's hard to be LGBTQ when you're younger, because you don't really know, but you know. Having somebody understand might make life a little easier. Better than nobody or only a straight person.